Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday, October 9th. Quite an active weather pattern across the nation. A couple of areas of focus here. First of all, out in the west and the central part of the U.S., we have a bitter cold air mass for the month of October moving in from the northwest to the southeast. There'll be accumulating snow over the next couple of days, and in the Dakotas, northwestern part of Minnesota, there's possibility of as much as a couple of feet of snow. Some incredible temperature drops will come over the next 24 hours or so. For example, Denver, Boulder region of Colorado, they could have high temperatures this afternoon in the mid to upper 70s and then drop into the teens on Thursday with some accumulating snow in the Colorado area, the Colorado Rockies, for example. And that snow will intensify as a storm system intensifies on its way to the north and east. And again, the bullseye region for the snowfall over the next few days looks like the Dakotas, maybe the northwestern part of Minnesota. Meanwhile, not to be outdone, the western Atlantic has a couple different low pressure systems sitting off the eastern seaboard that will merge into one powerful storm over the next couple of days, and will have a big impact on places like southern New England, where winds could gust past 50 miles per hour or so with some heavy rainfall. There's actually some heavy rainfall right now in the Philadelphia metro region. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes here. First of all, in terms of the weather warnings map put out by NOAA, these two areas really pop out at you. All of this area is in either a winter storm warning, winter storm watch. Again, bitter cold air for this time of the year dropping south and east and into the Rockies, and then the heavy snowfall over the next few days will really be centered in this area right here, the Dakotas, northwestern part of Minnesota, and there can be snow accumulation all the way down into the central part of Colorado. But bitter cold for early October. Definitely should be some records broken, record low temperatures broken, and significant accumulating snow, which is also unusual for this early in the season. Meanwhile, off the Atlantic seaboard, storm warnings are posted from really the southern New England coastline and then off the mid-Atlantic coastline with this developing system. And again, there are two separate low pressure areas right now that will merge into one strong storm over the next 24 to 36 hours or so. And here's the latest positioning of those low pressure areas off the eastern seaboard by NOAA's National Hurricane Center. First of all, as you may recall, we had a cold frontal system slowly push its way through a couple of nights ago along the Atlantic seaboard. That boundary zone stalled out over the western Atlantic, and this low pressure system is really the one that formed along the stalled out frontal boundary zone. Then we had a secondary system forming well off the South Carolina coastline, kind of more of a tropical type of system, and in fact it was already producing some pretty strong winds and not too far away from a tropical storm type winds. But nonetheless, this particular low will basically merge in with this low right here and form a slow moving powerful storm over the next couple of days or so. And again, some rainfall exists right now in parts of the mid-Atlantic region, but the real area of concern for this powerful Atlantic storm will be the southeastern part of New England here, maybe all the way out to Long Island. We'll have to certainly watch for potential strong winds and heavy rainfall over the next couple of days from what will become a powerful storm over the northwestern Atlantic. Meanwhile, right now, we have an impressive rain band working its way from the southwest to the northeast across the Philadelphia metro region all the way down into the Delmarva Peninsula. Even a little bit of a kind of a kink in the radar echo pattern here. That suggests to me there's some heavy rainfall in this particular band right now, reaching central northern part of Chester County on the way to Delaware County, and it'll arrive in the Philadelphia metro region within the next hour or so. So right now, some impressive rainfall with this whole developing pattern, again, will ultimately result in a strong storm over the northwestern Atlantic over the next couple of days. But watch out for some heavy rainfall in the Philly metro region over the next hour or two. Well, let's walk through last night's 06Z GFS model run. Again, two areas of interest in this very active weather pattern out in the northwestern part of the nation, where blue is showing up on the map. That's snowfall as this Arctic high pressure system dives into the U.S. And again, temperatures will really take a tumble. Places like Denver in the mid to upper 70s today, down into the teens on Thursday. Here we have the GFS depicting these two separate low pressure systems. Again, this one down here is kind of a tropical like system, and this second system to its north is the system that I like to refer to as the frontal boundary zone system. And again, they'll merge into one powerful storm over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Let's keep moving forward here, and again, keeping our focus on two separate areas, kind of spinning around each other, and ultimately will merge into one strong storm system. Meanwhile, snow breaks out, accumulating snow again from the Colorado Rockies to the northern plains over the next couple of days. And here we are by tomorrow afternoon. Some heavy rainfall southeastern part of New England, maybe backing into Long Island, New York City metro region. Look at the isobar pattern here. These are some very strong potential wind gusts of up to 50 or 60 miles per hour, places like Cape Cod and all along the southern part of New England here. Meanwhile, significant snow by tomorrow afternoon from Colorado across Nebraska right into the Dakotas as this bitter cold air mass slowly slides to the south and east. Let's keep moving forward. Notice this storm continues to intensify, now down to a 998 center in terms of the central pressure here. And again, some stiff winds, maybe 50, 60 mile an hour wind gusts. Southern New England, Long Island, maybe some heavy rain continuing tomorrow night. Meanwhile, this snowstorm moves all the way up through the Dakotas into the southern part of Canada by late tomorrow night. Let's keep moving forward here. And the heavy snow can shift into western part, especially the northwestern part of Minnesota by later Friday, and then that cold air slowly moves into farther east across the central part of the nation. Meanwhile, this low pressure area just kind of sits and spins, starts to weaken by the time Friday afternoon rolls around. Still an oppressive system, quite breezy at times, all the way from D.C. to Philadelphia to New York City over the next few days, associated with this western Atlantic low. It really doesn't kick on out of here until this frontal system presses to the east. We'll see that in a moment here. Now we get to Saturday. Cold front approaching the east coast at low, still sitting not all that far off the eastern seaboard, but it finally gets kicked out of here by that frontal system that could cause a shower or two in the I-95 corridor on Saturday evening. But basically a rain-free weekend coming up to the mid-Atlantic region as that front moves through, rather dry, and it tends to maintain a relatively cool weather pattern going to the early and middle parts of next week for the mid-Atlantic and northeast U.S. So a lot going on over the next few days. Bitter cold, accumulating snow out in the western and central part of the nation, especially in the region from the Rockies to the northern plains, the bullseye region for the snow accumulation. Over the next couple of days, looks like the Dakotas, maybe the northwestern part of Minnesota. Meanwhile, off the east coast, a powerful storm will develop over the next 24 to 48 hours or so. Could have a big impact on places like southern New England with some significant rain and wind over the next couple of days. And there'll be some kind of an impact all the way from D.C. to Philadelphia, New York City. Some heavy rainfall within the next hour or two, as a matter of fact, in the Philadelphia metro region. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.